Today is part 2 of finding the best LEGO Star Wars minifigure from every single episode. In part 1, I covered the prequels as well as Solo and Rogue One, so today I'm covering all of the original trilogy as well as the sequels. And of course, I have to start with episode 4, and the rules are the same as always. I can't use the same figure over again, even if they're in both episodes, unless they have a different style or appearance. And here's most of my episode 4 minifigures. I have some of the light side here, as well as some of the dark side here. And actually, these figures are probably some of my favorite ones. They're definitely some simple ones, but I mean, most of them don't even need any like arm printing or leg printing, like Captain Antilles here, which I got from the Tantive 4, who is an okay minifigure. He gets the job done, but I don't think he's one of my favorites here. But simply, I think it is Darth Vader for my favorite of episode 4. I really like the leg printing and the arm printing and the detail that went into the head print as well as the head mold. And I really like how they actually went all out with all the printing that they could have. And it's in a lot of sets, so it's not really rare to see. And you can actually probably get it in like 3 or 4 sets that are actually retail right now. So simply enough, Darth Vader is probably my favorite from episode 4, but sadly I can't use him from episode 5 or 6, but I still think he deserves the episode 4 slot. And here is all of my episode 5 figures, which isn't a lot, but most of them are technically also from episode 4. I do have this new style of Luke, which is the Hoth Luke, and it actually looks really nice. Of course, I have a Snow Trooper from the Snow Trooper Battle Pack, and I also have the Scout Trooper version of the Snow Trooper, but I didn't really include it because I didn't think it was that good, at least better than the Snow Trooper. I also have this Boba Fett, which of course isn't my only one, but technically it's the only one from Empire Strikes Back, and definitely is the most detailed with all of the arm printing and leg printing, and this one came in the mech set, so I definitely think this one is my favorite episode 5 figure, and it will look very nice for episode 5, next to Vader, of course. Now, moving on to episode 6, which I have even less figures of, only being the Luke Skywalker, which technically is from The Mandalorian, but honestly, he is the scene, it looks like the scene from the first part of episode 6 where he goes into Jabba's palace, so I will count him because he basically, there's no really difference between him and episode 6 version. I also have this Endor version of Leia, which is actually really cool. I like all the camo it's on her, but I definitely think she deserved some arm printing there because it is kind of boring and basic, but I really like this one, and I believe the same one came in the diorama from Endor with the speeder bike chase, which was one of my favorite dioramas, but is now currently retired. If I had to pick one between one of these, I would pick Luke, but I do have to say that Leia would look way more nicer if she had those arm printing that she's definitely missing. And I actually really like most of the Endor suits that we get, at least from some of the older years, but sadly the 2023 one is just not the greatest. And moving on to the sequels, which definitely has my least amount of figures altogether, here's what I have for episode 7. I do have this BB-8, which I don't know if you'll actually count him as a minifigure, so sadly I'll have to exclude him by default. And I also have this First Order Flame Trooper, which is actually really cool. I don't really like the sequels that much, but still I think he's a cool figure. I also have the First Order Trooper, and I do have the heavy version of him. But fun fact, from episode 7 to episode 8, they actually received a little bit of a different head mold. It had a small difference in the printing, but I don't have the more pointed version of the helmet. I do have the rounded one. This is just a normal figure that gets the job done again, but I actually have probably my favorite figure from the sequels, which has these beautiful cloth waist cape and pauldron there, which is the First Order Snow Trooper Captain, I guess. Really like that figure and all of his printing, and of course the beautiful cloth pauldron. And sadly, I don't have anything from episode 8 because honestly I don't really collect too many sequel figures, but I do have these two from episode 9. This one is the Kylo Ren, which actually doesn't come with the cape, so this one specifically is from the Microfighter, and he has that beautiful printing with the cracks on it, so that's how you know it's actually from episode 7 or episode 9 and not 7. And I also have a Sith Jetpack Trooper, which I definitely want to get a regular Sith Trooper, but the Sith Jetpack Trooper is still really, really nice. I like the vibrant red on him. And I definitely think the Sith Jetpack Trooper is a little bit better than Kylo Ren because, I mean, you see some of the printing in a lot of other sets. I believe that one was exclusive to the Battle Pack, and he actually looks amazing. The only thing I would change is, of course, the blaster, which has the stud shooter, but still, really like him and is definitely one of my favorite sequel figs. But that is going to do it for today's video, and if you haven't watched part 1, which covers Rogue One, Solo, and of course the prequels, then definitely go ahead and watch that. But that is it for every single minifigure that I think, at least in my collection, is best for every single episode. And comment down below if you want to make me do a mock for every single episode, and of course I'll use the figures.